What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Trailer Time. We are your humble hosts, Mohit and Jamell. Today we have the trailer to the Netflix movie Project Power. But before we get started, we just want to say thank you to all the returning viewers. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to our channel. Please like, subscribe, share all our videos, comment about whatever you thought about our upcoming analysis of the trailer. Now let's get into it. So let's go over what Project Power is about. It's about an ex-soldier, a teen drug dealer, and a cop who collide in New Orleans as they hunt for the source of a dangerous new pill that grants superhuman abilities for 5 minutes. Alright, when I hear that, I honestly think back to Bradley Cooper's Limitless, super underrated movie. Good work, Bradley Cooper. We haven't forgotten about what you've done for us. So for the trailer, I think this trailer is a great example of pulling the viewer into the world really fast, really quickly, but also giving away too much. So it does one thing really well, but fails in another aspect. So maybe it could be used to study in film schools down the line, who knows? Because first 30 seconds works, and like the last whatever doesn't work really. But like I said, the viewer is pulled immediately into this world as soon as the trailer starts, explaining the concept of the pill without wasting any time, within the first 30 seconds.
If there was a pill that could give you 5 minutes
so they get it. I'm embedded with the power.
of pure power,
I'm embedded with the power.
would you take it?
And then immediately the trailer gives you sequences of the different superpowers overlaying with a Joseph Gordon-Levitt narrative of what could happen. Also an interesting shot to explain more of the world and more of the intricacies of the pill itself. These first 30 seconds plus the accompanying shots afterward accomplishes more than a lot of trailers do in their entirety.
So my first reaction is that this is Bright 2.0. This is Netflix's opportunity to fix whatever mistakes they think and that critics and viewers think that happened with Bright. Similar plot, similar sequence. However, I think they really upped the ante for this one based off the trailer with, one, the casting. I mean, Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt have crazy range. While I think that it's important that you mentioned that they gave a little too much, I actually think that they gave too much because there's actually a lot going to be in this movie. I mean, the director did Paranormal Activity. I think there's also going to be like some scary movie aspects to this that we don't see. Maybe when like Machine Gun Kelly's on the Human Torch and he flies out. Like that's an example. I also think that there's going to be so much more diversity in like what the pill does, because you saw how long it took in the trailer to actually get to what Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character got, and they gave us that sneak peek at the end where like Jamie Foxx is doing like the whole bra and he has like 20 green lights on him. So I can tell his power is going to be OP. The hints about his daughter, the serum. So I feel like there's going to be like a lot of depth to this movie. Yeah. And so they kind of have like a leeway to be able to give us a good amount. Yeah, and then you bring up a good point. Like I was talking about, it kind of gives away too much. So you know the Jamie Foxx's character's main intentions pretty easily. The reveal about the daughter, it fuels his motivations in the movie for sure. But I'm thinking it would have been a better reveal during the actual movie and not the trailer. Because I feel like now the viewers know too much already, so what else is there for us to learn? And you could be right, there could be a lot more for us to learn once we watch the movie. But for the trailer's sake, I think it gives us too much, so I think a lot of viewers will now just expect a routine action movie, which is great, don't get me wrong, I'm all for that. Look at Extraction and Old Guard, both done by Netflix, that were really good, and this might be the third one that makes Netflix the new action movie giant, who knows. But now, if they give us more layers, like I'm hoping they will, like you think they will, I think that will make this movie even better than the last that I just mentioned. Pros and cons to giving away too much, that they could surprise us with more layers, and if there's not enough layers in the movie, then it kind of just failed in its intention. But I guess we'll have to wait and see for that part. Yeah, no, I agree. I think I have a question for you. Are you convinced by like the crime syndicate-ness behind like the bad guys? Because I think if we're talking about giving too much, I don't think they needed to mention that part at all, really. Like there's like the boss and they're sitting on the streets. Like I think that's fine. Like that's a baseline premise to keep that in the beginning because you have to introduce like law enforcement anyway. But I would much rather you have not said that, because that also leaves the possibility that there's like a real super villain in the film. You know, like has the powers. Maybe they're also the anti to Jamie Foxx's daughter's character.
Right.
You know, she seems like the crux of the whole thing. So I'm interested to see if there's going to be someone else who has innate abilities. Because I feel like based off what the trailer shows, it's like they take the DNA from somebody and they make, my hero. what's her name? The girl, and they take the
Aries?
They make the thing. Yeah. Aries, yes, exactly. I think it's oh god, it's that movie.
Yeah, no, I think I was kind of thinking the same thing when I was watching the trailer a couple times, where one of these people probably have innate abilities, and I'm thinking it's Jamie Foxx's character, just because in the entire trailer you see him use weapons as opposed to powers, except the end. So maybe he's like, he chooses to use weapons rather than his own powers, and then when he really has to, he'll unleash his powers. Or maybe it could be the opposite, where the villain is the one with the innate abilities, and that's why they have to take the daughter to figure out the formula or the DNA or anything like that. So I think there will be a twist like that, where someone probably has innate powers that they're getting this drug from, which is totally reasonable, I think.
I hope the percent of people who die versus the ones that get powers is really slim, because I think it would kill the whole thing if like 1 million people in this movie have the power.
Right, yeah, no, I'd agree. And I think there's a part in the trailer where the drug dealer team that Jamie Foxx teams up with just has a line of like, if it doesn't kill you, they'll give you powers.
On the streets, they're talking about superpowers, but they're not talking about how one hit could kill you.
It sounded like more people die than not. And I think that's also a good point. I've been saying the word layers a lot, but I think a good layer for this kind of movie is not highlighting the whole crime syndicate aspect of the drug dealing, but highlighting the dependence or addiction or the repercussions of using this drug too much. And I think and the trailer does touch on that with the line from that I just mentioned with the drug dealer, but also Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. And if this is an aspect they do include, I think it'd be great, because it'll really resonate with the current times, considering how there's an opioid epidemic all over the United States, and I think that will really kind of hit home for a lot of ways. And I think a trailer or a movie that does that is immediately better than a movie that doesn't. So I think that should be a thing where like only a select few actually make it. Because if you notice in the trailer, you only see like Human Torch guy, the Invisible guy, and then Joseph Gordon-Levitt and kind of Jamie Foxx in the end. So you don't see a whole slew of people getting these powers. It's only a couple people that the drug might work for without killing them.
Yeah, that's true. The Human Torch guy is great. I'm glad we got that.
Yeah.
And it's Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
Definitely not an acting debut, but
yeah.
I think he's gonna kill it as someone who bursts in the flames. But yeah, Project Power is an onion. Project Power has hella layers. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see some forms of like horror or suspense or thriller in this movie versus action. I feel like the beginning scene of the trailer with like the creepy music.
Yeah.
Power, speak a little louder.
Like I feel like that's gonna be an indication of what the most of the movies are gonna be. I think the action scenes are gonna be like tailored to specific points, but also very effective.
I think, like you mentioned, the directors who have that experience, Ariel Schulman and Henry Joost, who did some Paranormal Activity movies. They also did Nerve, which is kind of like a thriller suspense movie with some action thrown in. It wasn't a good movie, but that's definitely the vibes they were going with. There was a scene where like the shot of like the human eye separating and like the cheek deforming. So I think it'll have that kind of horror aspect to it.
It's crazy when you said that. Like the movies that came to mind is just like straight up the old Hulk, like Amazing Spider-Man. They did like their beastly transformation. I think the cinematography is going to be very similar.
Right. Yeah.
And then with that, like you said, Paranormal Activity mix. I mean, this might be Netflix's best action movie in a while.
Like I mentioned, Extraction and The Old Guard were both really good movies, better than anyone was expecting. I think. So I think this is just going to be even better. You know, they're kind of like going from strength to strength. You excited to watch this movie from this trailer?
Oh, I'm hyped. I'm extremely hyped. I said in the beginning, I'll bring it back again. The casting on this, I think, is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt hasn't been in something for a while, so I'm excited to see him get back into it.
Hype. And Jamie Foxx getting back basically Gotham City again. Like, it's going to be dope.
And Jamie Foxx is always a treat to watch.
This is Jamie.
Alright, what are you going to rate this trailer?
I'm going to give it a 4.56. I was really happy. Like, I watched it. Usually, when we're doing this research, I watch it a lot of times just like for educational purposes so I can identify things. Bro, I rewatched this like 3 or 4 times without even like, just because I was entertained as hell. I wanted to know what was in this. This was a really good trailer.
So I'm going to give it a 4.5 as well, just because I really appreciated how they explained the concept of the movie and the world so quickly. So you're really drawn in. The daughter thing, now that we've like kind of went back and forth on it, it could be good, it could be bad. That's something to decide. I personally thought it was bad. And I was surprised to see how good the powers looked, honestly, like how good the graphics and special effects looked just in the trailer itself. I'm excited to see what it's going to look like in the movie. There you have it, everyone, our thoughts and review of the Project Power trailer, which is set to come out on Netflix on August 14th. Netflix has been a saving grace for movie lovers everywhere. They keep coming out with new movies all the time, where since we can't go to theaters, let us know what you thought in the comments below, if you agree or disagree. Let us know if you thought this was the worst trailer you've ever seen, or if you agree with us that it's really good, or if the powers look really bad. Comment, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'd love to get our name out there even more. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
So sweet.